Welcome, Dr. Octopus.
Yay! And we're live, Darren. And this is our first time live on. Oh my God, we're everywhere. So, hello, Facebook. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitter. Hello, Twitch. That's something I've learned this week that exists. Anyway, I'm getting old. I'm so excited, Darren. Thank you for bringing me here, helping me out, producing this, creating these cool announcements and trailers. So what are we doing here, Darren? What are we going to do?
Well, today's Friday. We're just going to get into shenanigans, which is my favorite things to do. And we have a couple amazing guests coming as well. One of the things you and I were talking about before we got started was, our why and what's the state of the world. And, maybe why are we doing this today? How about you, Doc? Why is this important to you?
Well, it's about the mycelium network of amazing people, and the Octopus Movement is growing and growing and growing, and I'm so lucky to talk to all these amazing people all the time, and I want to share that. So I thought I need to connect our mycelium network of amazing people to all these different platforms so people can meet these amazing octopuses, meet these amazing people who are doing unbelievable things, hidden gems in the world, artists, founders, musicians, thinkers, professors, all of them, and then my favorite topic, let's talk in a non-linear way. We
Right.
didn't prepare anything, there's no questionnaire, there's nothing. We just want to talk, we just want to find out, we just want to connect. And I think this is a very good way to do this. I used to be on Clubhouse every day for half an hour doing the same thing, just talking. And the problem there was that it was too narrow. If you don't have Clubhouse, you can't see
Right.
anything, you can't hear anything. And now it's available everywhere. And of course, the recordings are going to be on YouTube. So, and people can join us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and they can chat with us and they can ask questions for our guests, for us, remarks, comments, thoughts, non-linear thoughts. They're all more than welcome, and I'm
Absolutely.
super excited what will happen, and I'm so happy with our two guests today because they're so awesome and they're good friends of mine, and I'm so happy they're here. So
You
that's my
know,
why, Darren.
one thing that is different than the norm is not being overly prepared for something like this when we have such great guests like we do. I would typically have a show rundown. I would have met with both of these women individually before this show. I would have had a marketing plan on the back end. And really, what I'm learning is that stuff has worn me out my whole life. But when I do this and I show up and it's Dr. Octopus and Diru and we got some crazy fun guests to talk about what they're doing, it's inspiring. And I find that I don't get the taxation on my system, man. I'm having a great time. Each of these people in the network have been so different too, which causes me to reflect on my views of the world. My little corner I'm in is not even close to what yours is. And it's so important for us to reach across and connect and learn. And the think tank was like, it was serious, but there's also this whole other side to us. All four of us here today are highly creative people, and if you put us in a box, it just doesn't work. And so having a rough, this is what we're going to do, but we're going to be together in purpose, on purpose, and I want to listen to what you have to say before I'm thinking about what I want to say, right? That's what's important. And so, how great is it? So, thanks for doing that and encouraging me to come and do something like this loosely, and to
I
just
love
do it
that.
for the sake of joy because
Yeah,
it's
and I learned
important.
something yesterday from someone I met, very interesting. And and I said to him, "What do you want to change in the world?" And he said, "It's the unwritten rules." He said, "They're driving me nuts. This is someone with severe autism, And he said, these unwritten rules are in my way of being happy. And I was thinking, that's similar as how I look at the linear world. That if you do a show like this, then you have to prepare, you have to do this, you have to do that. Those are the unwritten rules that everybody obeys, because that's how it works. Let's just
Yeah.
follow our gut feeling and just say what we think and go for it and have fun, and forget about these unwritten rules for an hour and just
Yeah.
listen to Jasmine and Maxine, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where we're going to learn from each other and change and create all new things, right? We all can agree that the state of affairs in whatever corner you're in needs some change. Some need it way more drastically than others. But I just left Seattle, where homelessness had been 1,000-fold what it was when I was in high school. And so it's just a reflection of things are not the way they used to be, and they're not going probably the way we want them to go if we continue doing the things that everyone is doing. If we do something differently, I think we have hope for change and hope for more fruitful and joyful life anyways, because that's what everybody wants, and people are
Right.
screaming of anxiety
True.
and depression and symptoms right now.
Yeah.
you know
I'm taking notes, by the way, when we're talking to our guests. I love to do that.
do it.
Just take
Yeah.
sometimes people, it's like I don't make these things all up by myself. I'm listening to people and I'm connecting the dots. And
Oh yeah.
someone was talking to me about complexity versus diversity. Diversity means you're opening up, and complexity, it means you're narrowing down everything to a simple thing you can understand. So complexity and diversity don't go well together. And I wrote that down just before the show, and I thought,
Interesting.
that's interesting. So I'm taking notes, I'm writing things down. Shall we
I love
invite our
that.
guests?
Let's do that. Let's bring up Maxine Cunningham. Hello, Maxine
Woot
and
woot.
Yasmin Passos.
Hi.
Passos.
Yay.
I'm sorry. I said your last name wrong. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Maxine, where are you? Because this is a crazy month for the both of you, and I think it's
It
such a
is.
good topic to start with, because there's this
Yeah.
crazy investor who did something really amazing, I think, and I want to know more about that.
There is. Yasmin and I are currently in Austin, Texas, and we are participating in an accelerator who is put on by Draper University. And Draper Accelerator, Tim Draper is a big investor out there. And what the offer was apply. So they launched this accelerator for the first time for a group of startups. And the offer was come live in Austin for 1 month in a beautiful house with a group of 5 other founders. We'll give you 50,000 US dollars. We're going to educate you every morning with different speakers who have done what you want to do: scale your startup, scale your mission.
Oh, Max, wait, you're being on holiday for a month and you get paid
Wow.
$50,000? How does that work?
It's a lot of work, I promise.
Yeah, it's
Is
so
it a lot
much
of
work.
work? Oh, it's
So
not a
much
holiday.
work. No, it's
Wow.
not a holiday. It is like every day 2 hours of workshops plus like meeting VCs and investors. So the intention is this is an investment for Tim Draper. They're picking 5 startups. They had 100 people apply. They picked 5. PickMyBrain was one of them. And they said, we're going to invest in your company and we're going to help make sure your company scales while we're here with our connections. It's actually a very good investment given what they have. And then they just amplify it by being like, we're going to give you that proximity as well. We're going to bring you to Austin. And Austin is like the new Silicon Valley right now in terms of startup energy. I could talk about Austin for 60 minutes right now. I've never been in a city like this. I've never been received like this. I've never felt there's like an alien beam over Austin of good vibes, and everyone here is new. Like you go into a room and you ask, oh, you've only been here 2 weeks, you've been here a month, you've been here 2 days, is like 60% of the audience, and the city really welcomes it. So yeah, they put us in the hot city of the world, I'd say right now for startups. They bring the 5 startup founders here, put us in a house, which allows us to have all of our side conversations about our company and our missions and our visions and how we're going to go after them. every morning we start with a speaker that has done it. So it starts the day off really high. And then they tried their best to introduce us to the city so we can scale our companies.
And
Fun.
and why? So I know and I understand why Tim selected Pick My Brain. But why do you think he selected Pick My Brain, Max?
Well, I think PickMyBrain has a really big mission, which is to unlock, right? We're building the world's first knowledge marketplace. We're making it really easy for people to package, price, sell, and share their knowledge in new ways. It's scalable. We have traction, which makes us a little bit more of a sound investment. You know, we've done this. We have 500 brains using the tool. We've proved that people will buy and sell knowledge. We have a few partnerships in the deal. So I think that they saw, you know, we've put the time in to develop that theory out.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
very, very key these days, that for investors that you can show it works, that it's no
100%.
longer a good story and a good idea and let's pump
No.
2.3 million in it and let's see where it goes. It's
Yeah.
you have to prove your concept these days. Is that true?
You have to constantly prove it. Like we're realizing, so yeah, we had to prove it to get into the accelerator, but if we want to go to the venture capitalist financing, the levels of proof are just going higher and higher. And it's kind of like an investor wants to see you set goals and then achieve them and then write them back and then set them again and then write them back and then they might help the next set. So it's like this.
How does that feel for you? Because you are also a nonlinear thinker, Maxine. You also think out of sight of the box, and you have your whole team, and you're creative, and you're fast, and you're nuts as well. So how does it work for you to have that linear structure that you have to prove yourself constantly?
It's interesting. I have a 50-50 relationship with it. I understand, like my economist and investment banker side of me completely understands how to make investments and de-risk them and to show how to cut out the 100 entrepreneurs that applied and pick 5 that have actually sold. Because I think there's a difference between having an idea and actually going someone to put the willingness to pay into that idea. There's just a different stage. So I understand the proof points that de-risk the investment for that from their perspective. On the other side, I think that I'm non-linearly thinking about all the ways that you can raise capital, not just from these banks, because I want to give, you don't have to go just one track to get capital. There's crowdfunding ways, there's angel investors, there's partnerships, there's contracts that you can get that can also fund your company. VC is just one track. And what we're trying to do is be like, is that the track that feels most in alignment with PickMyBrain as a whole, with our values, and with what kind of capital PickMyBrain requires to reach the scale that we're going for. So it's like a constant check-in. It's like, I'm just like learning the world. I'm openly learning what they need to do what they do. And putting all the feelers out there and like letting our intuition kind of guide us from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are both of you there together?
We are. Yeah.
They're in the same room or no?
Oh.
Just yeah.
That would be funny. Yeah. Like you see hands all of a sudden.
And touch you.
No, but can I say something? It was so funny. I was by the pool talking with one of the founders, and then another founder passed through me, and he was like, "Where's Maxine?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe in her room." And he was like, "Oh, it's so confusing to me to not see you guys together."
You're constantly together. Yeah.
Yes. Different people.
How linear of that person to say that, right?
That's awesome. I don't mind that.
Yeah, no,
it's funny
and cute.
Yeah.
We've had a few people roll through and say hello. A couple of Facebook users. I didn't know who this was. I love this. I'm sure that was an amazing comment. It's because hell yes. And then
hi Suyata. We know Suyata. Because we need to explain this. So PickMyBrain and the Octopus Movement is married with each other for That's the only way to put it, right? So I encourage everyone in the Octopus Movement to go to PickMyBrain, create your profile, and because the mycelium created this connection. I was interviewed by Dustin. Dustin Miller interviewed me a long time ago,
Yeah.
almost 2 years ago. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
And we were talking about multipotentiality. And after the interview, sent me a message, check out Pick My Brain. And I went on Pick My Brain. And I was like, awesome. And I made my profile, I think in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I built a record there, Maxine.
You have got lots of records, Perry.
and then I had Maxime on the phone just within a few days. And I was thinking, why on earth is the CEO and founder calling me? Because I made my profile. So my ego was whispering in my ear saying, dude, you nailed it. You're so cool. I wasn't cool. Yeah. Maxine just organized everything herself. She wants to know who are the brains, what's happening. And I really thought, Maxine, that I was special. Of course not. And that's how it all started. And I keep saying to people, we have founding members in the Octopus Movement. Create your Pick My Brain profile. So we use your profile to show the world what kind of amazing founding member you are. But everybody in the Octopus Movement, I'm always pushing them to go to Pick My Brain. Because it's an Airbnb of brains. You can, if I need someone, if I need advice, if I need thinking, and I'm addicted to connecting with others. It's official now. I'm addicted to that.
Addicted.
I'm really addicted. So I jump on Pick My Brain, select a profile, look at all the brains, and then book them and say, yes, let's have a conversation. So Suyata and Barbara and Hashem and many other users here are all on Pick My Brain and the Octopus Movement. Hi, Barbara.
Hello, Barbara.
Hello,
everyone.
Yeah, I love to say that. I love to say, like, I know a lot of people have hesitations to build a profile and they're like, oh, I don't know what I could offer. But when you put that invitation out to the world, this is what I've discovered. This is the magic of Pick My Brain and the universe, is when I put a Pick My Brain profile out, which tells the world that I am open to receive you. You can book me anytime. I'm Maxine, and you can just come into my DMs. You can book it in my calendar. I would love to receive you. It has been crazy what has come into my world with just that profile. Mm-hmm. So I've had, over 500 people from all around the world reach out and connect, and share with me something in their life. And now I have these humans that I've touched, and they've touched me. And it's like this portal that's open for the rest of our life. So even if you just want to open up opportunity in your life, serendipitous opportunity, you don't know what's going to come, and you want to opt into this, like, I am of service to you. I think that the goal of being a human being is to be of service to others. And I think that this profile really articulates that you are of service, that you are open, you're totally accessible. And just let it happen. Don't force it. Don't push it. Don't feel like you have to do anything.
No.
It comes.
Let it flow, right?
Let it flow.
It's like dancing. Let it flow. Just follow the moves. But I want to do a little exercise here, because people are watching this and maybe they have their Pick My Brain profile, or they are going to, and we have to convince Darren to make one. Let's Maxime, Jasmine, and myself, let's give the audience one brilliant advice what you need to create your Pick My Brain profile or do.
I'm going to interrupt because you sold me on it this morning. Because Maxine, you and I haven't hung out. I haven't met you. We haven't talked about this. Yasmin, you and I haven't talked about this. But I don't know how in a roundabout way this has kind of hit me in maybe 3 or 4 different people. But Perry today was like, man, for my ADHD side of myself, and I can't, try to work out all these schedules. And I mean, how hard was it just for you and I, Perry, to do calendar math last night and do the show?
There were 4 different time zones. I totally fucked up. Sorry for my language.
It's part of life.
I can't do it.
But this is why Pick My Brain, for me, it was all of that. And then we had the think tank. And then I had all these guests that were communicating from Facebook, Voxer, WhatsApp, and email. And, I have an ADHD or whatever the spelling is. I can't even do that right, brain. I'm a multi-potentialite. How's that? On some sort of spectrum in the universe. And I don't do those things well on the fly, and I'll lose one. This week I didn't make a mistake. I don't know how. I just went slow and I didn't make a mistake, but I spent probably 40% of my energy checking my work. And I hate that. And when I've run my own companies before and I didn't have an accountant or a bookkeeper, that was always it. I'm always going back and checking my work.
Yes.
And in fear, right, that my brain is going to allow some important thing to happen. Now, in this regard, I'm scheduling interviews and shows with all kinds of people. So I'm part of Founders King also, which is another thing we'll get you guys wrapped in, because that's a new entrepreneur magazine for people that don't operate like capitalist monsters. How's that? That think about your fellow human, and and Wamini Duamini is part of it as well. I mean, so there's all of these things that when you see they wrap around, they all are intertwined. And so I was first encouraged selfishly to say, I don't want to miss anything, right? Perry's saying, look, I just send out the link, and then it's reminding me, it's reminding them.
Yeah, 99%, Max. That's the biggest thing for me. I never hear, oh, sorry, I forgot. I hate that. Personally, I can't stand that when people do that. You're scheduling time. You're sitting down at your desk. I'm ready, and then nobody shows up, and then they're saying to you, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Fuck you with your sorry. You didn't show up." I hate that.
Totally.
But with Pick My Brain, 99%. They're always there because they're. You get a text message, an email, an hour in advance, a day in advance, a week in advance, a life in advance. I don't know. It's constantly reminders, and it's nice because I'm walking the dog or I'm buying ice creams, and I get this text message. All the other messages I don't read, but then the text message come in, and then I just scan Pick My Brain. I don't even read it, and I'm like, oh shit, something is happening in an hour. I need to get home. And that's wonderful. I love that.
So really quickly, because I think it's important because of our audience, people don't understand when they see me operate in this way, but I have brain damage. I have several TBIs. And so I'm dealing with sort of sometimes this complexity of a fog. And if I can have a tool that's working for me, the anxious energy of myself, making sure I don't lose anything actually gives me more time to do the things I want, or just maybe my brain works longer that day. And so it was really, it really caught my attention selfishly. But then as I learn more about it, it seems like, wow, we really have to figure out a way to put ourselves out there and connect with other people, just like how Perry and I have connected, or, none of these things are an accident. And I'm, Iris, I'm new to the movement as well, but here I am knee deep in it, and things are happening and communities happening. And, so many things have happened in such a short time, because it's something everybody is looking for. They want something new.
They do. And Perry, were you going to say something? I was going to say the number, how many octopuses. What I love about the Octopus Movement is it is a community that, and it's the octopus especially, there's so many one-on-one connections that are occurring in your world. And what is easy is if Perry told me to meet anybody, I'll go meet them, right? Because I trust Perry, and Perry is that node within the octopus. That's why he's the leader. And what we want to do to make that really easy is Perry's go meet Darren. And I'm like, okay, but then what do I have to do? I have to email Darren or LinkedIn Darren, say, Perry got me to meet you, or Perry has to send us an email, and then we have to coordinate, and then we have to find a time, and then we have to monitor that time. Instead, if Perry's go meet Darren, here's his link, and I see he's got a 30-minute meeting, he's got he's got these different ways I could meet him, and I just book, and it's in our calendar, and I don't have to reach out. And that the reason why that's so important is because I believe in all of my being that the more one-on-one connections that occur within a group, the stronger the group, the stronger the creativity, the more innovation, the more opportunities that are passed through. And so I'm all right, just make one-on-one connections seamless, make it so easy to receive, that as a starting point, and measure the health of a community like the Octopus Movement, which is very healthy in my mind because they have so many one-on-one connections. They have so many touch points. And so we're trying to take this and overlay it into other opportunities as well. Like Yasmin, the head of our mentorship program, we've realized that when you go to university, a very linear structure, you get all this academic knowledge and you walk out unconnected. You walk out with a master's. I walked out with a master's in economics. I put my time in, but I walked out never having met an economist. I walked out the university didn't even introduce me to an economist, even though they were the school that has educated hundreds of thousands of economists over their tenure. And I was lost. I didn't even know what an economist did. I knew how to apply economics academically, but I didn't know all the divisions. So 6 years of school and I don't get any of that. And cross compare that to Draper, this accelerator that we're in right now. The intention is actually reverse. It's like, let's have conversations with people and then let's connect you with them. And so we're meeting people all the time in this city. And it's like, we're developing our network and our relationship with the city in 1 month. In 6 years, I got a master's and not one connection. So we're trying to be like, listen up, universities, can we please overlay PickMyBrain onto your platform and ask the alumni, can we give them all a PickMyBrain profile so students can reach out? And then can the school tell someone like me, hey, Max, here's a directory of all the economists that went to Queens. You can reach out and talk to any of them. Actually, it's a requirement for you to graduate because you need to be tethered. Otherwise, you're less likely to succeed, right? Research shows that the more relationships you have with economists, the more likely you are to find a job, the more likely you are to find your soul, like your purpose, the more likely you are to be able to have someone to fall back on when you're struggling. Like it just comes back down to that one-on-one. And I'm like, okay, university, how many one-on-one connections did you establish this year? Oh, you can't tell me,
Maxine, I think it's hard for young people to find real mentors that they don't necessarily always have to pay for, because I've had on my LinkedIn profile for over 10 years, reach out to me, anything in my experience, I'll give you 2 hours. How many people do you think have asked me? One. And it happened this year in person, a young man who was an auto mechanic. And he's like, I don't know what you're doing in the studio there, but I know I need help. And he had no idea that I had other businesses, I said, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
One. And so, but if I were to put myself out there in this regard, and I said, not just this broad spectrum of these things, but you can ask me about construction, or you can ask me about design build, or you can ask me about business strategy, or, music therapy, or recovery therapies. Like, that's a weird thing to have in a row. But if you understand a multi-potentialite, and if people were to look at that and then go to my LinkedIn and watch a few posts, they go, oh, he's not nuts. Well, I guess maybe he is, but also he could help me in these few areas, Whether I want to charge for that or not is my thing. But there's, Yasmin, am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah.
Yasmin. So do you find that because you're mentoring, I mean, that is your role with a lot of new people in PickMyBrain, is it difficult for younger people to grasp that concept and because to be mentored, you have to humble yourself and not take everything personally. And I feel like our youth is very, they pick on each other. And so everyone's kind of in a hiding, behind the screen. What do you see in our youth and mentorship, and how could we do that better?
Yeah, so I think that young professionals, they don't know how to approach other professionals, established professionals, because we don't know. And I say we because, like, when I was in college, I didn't know how to approach. I didn't feel like I had access. I didn't feel like I had the permission. And I didn't want to be sending LinkedIn messages and never hearing back.
Right.
So what happened when I came to Canada is there was another layer because I was an immigrant. So I didn't know the culture. I didn't know anyone here, and I needed so much to establish myself in the world, or else I would ended up in jobs that it wasn't in my passion, right? So that's how I met Maxine. I met
Mm.
her, I booked her for a session, and I wanted to
Oh,
build a network, right? So she was my first friend, right? And you know, throughout the 4 years, we became, you know, mentee mentor, right? And then now we are working together. But before that, I coordinated a mentorship program in Vancouver. And what I saw in that is was like, wow, that program was trying to connect you know, students with professionals, which was great, but also very limiting because they focused in one niche. So they attract business students and they only had corporate mentors, right? And they pair people together. So I, as a
mm.
mentee, only had access to one mentor, right? I couldn't build a network. Right. And those are the points that we want to change. Imagine, and local, right? Like, so all people needing to be in Vancouver, right? 1 year program, and then I couldn't access my mentor anymore. So what we want on Pick My Brain is to build a way for the Yasmin in Brazil dreaming about coming to Canada, be able to find Maxine, to able to
Right.
find Perry, right? Like my mom this day, she called me. She was pissed at my sister. She's 20 years old, comes back from university, goes to her room, watch Netflix for 4 hours straight, and my mom, it's panicking because she knows, right, that the world requires a level of attitude, a level of connection that my sister
Yeah.
is not getting. It's she's not having it, and she's going to school, right? So but at the same, when she called me, I was like, Mom, stop fighting with Netflix, you're going to lose that battle, you
Yeah.
know. My sister won't listen to you. What can we do instead to actually connect her? So I was like, let's go to Pick My Brain. You're gonna put sessions of mentorship in her card. Okay, so my sister will have a credit card for knowledge. And I am going to talk to her and be like, oh, are you interested in human beings? Are you studying psychologist? I want you to talk to Perry. I want you to
Hmm.
talk to Katie. I want you to talk to Jane. I want you to explore what this field is. I want you to have global connections. She's now booking them, you know, and people that I myself didn't have access until I arrived in Canada, right? I
Mm.
couldn't build a global
Cool.
network.
Huh? Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
what the level of transformation we want to bring to students, and to everyone. But like, you know, in my case, on Pick My Brain's taking care of like youth and being like, look, stop Netflix a little bit, go connect, go ask
Yeah.
questions, go, you know, go outside because the world is demanding that from you now. This is a different world now. A degree is no longer enough, you know. It wasn't enough for me, it's not going to be enough for you. So like, and this is the tool, like all the Maxines of the world are here, takes away from you, way easier than it was for me. Okay. So
Mm.
use it, and
So,
yeah, and have like parents buying it and in schools buying it, everyone responsible to offer that to you.
So how do you become a mentor in Pick My Brain? You know, you create your profile on Pick My
Yeah.
Brain. You managed it. Awesome. If you need help, you can book me on Pick My Brain, and I will
Yeah.
help you. Uh, and then you create a perfect profile, and you want to become a mentor in your program, Jasmine.
Yeah.
What should they do? How does it work?
Well, so every brain on Pick My Brain, they fill up a profile and we jump on a call with them for a one-on-one. And in this one-on-one, we want to get to know them and get to know what exactly they want to offer and to who. So mentors are brains that want to use the time they are available for young professionals. So they have like this target in mind. If they let us know that, then what we do is like we tag them as mentors so that young professionals know and can search by mentors that, you know, this is the target for those brains, and they have a mentoring session available. So in a week also, like you can book a meeting then you can book a second and third session for 75 for 1 hour. So many of the brains we have on Pick My Brain, they have like hourly rates way above that, but then we pay all the mentors the same, and for 1 hour 75 because it's for young professionals. So it needs to be a price that is affordable for youth to pay.
Isn't it awesome, Darren? Don't you
Yeah.
just want to, just skip our live session? We did 36 minutes. Forget it. Let's close it up and build your profile, and you can become a mentor, right?
I definitely do, because also I'm in the middle of nowhere, USA. I mean, not nowhere. It's Wanapum territory, but it's Mattawa, Washington. There's just farms and really nothing around, And so, I have younger, well, not my children are older, is what I meant, to where they now have professional things that they could do and offer, and we're in a place where they need access to be able to be marketable, And what's funny is how Yasmin, you were trying to get to BC. I'm actually trying to get to Vancouver Island, BC,
Oh.
and that is my goal. My family's Wewicum native from Vancouver Island, which is in Campbell River, and so
Oh,
and
yeah, I live in Comox Valley.
oh wow, that's awesome.
So right
Very
close
cool.
to it.
Yay,
Yeah, yeah.
connection.
Up to the island. Yeah, yeah.
The crazy thing, and the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm talking to Perry because of a woman named Dorothy Auger, who is a TEDx speaker and a poet, who is like 3 connections from me, from someone from Florida, then to Norway, then to her. But it was her poem that inspired me to move back home to the reservation and to start learning my native language again, which has done all kinds of things for the family in beautiful ways. And so what is amazing is being able to have people from this huge palette, not just USA, this, or a lot of people go on Fiverr, right? And they're looking for what's the cheapest thing I can pay, to someone over there. And I'm not saying where, because the US mentality in that regard I don't agree with, but they say, I want to pay those people. And I'm like, why can't you pay someone a real rate? Right? That's what we're talking about is equity and availability to do what people want to do and be able to function. I mean, I'm about to get another surgery, and so I'm not going to be doing a lot of things, but I could do this. I could mentor. I could look at blueprints if someone needed me to. I could do all marketing plans for somebody.
World, Darren. You can travel the world.
It's
you
beautiful.
Can connect to all these brains.
Absolutely.
And Max, I have a question for you. Or
Yeah.
you need to promise me something. So
Okay.
you're with Mr. Tim, and he's investing into Pick My Brain, and it's all self-fulfilling prophecies. So Pick My Brain will grow and grow and grow, and it's amazing. And how you organize and run the whole show is, of course, very inspirational. In this world, when you achieve the linear end result, that you have an amazing, huge company, or maybe you sell it one day or whatever, and big things happen. Can you promise me that you will keep your Pick My Brain account always available so people can book you for free for half an hour, no matter how big of a rock star you become? Can you promise me that on video here?
I will never not. It has unlocked the greatest value in my life I've ever experienced, my Pick My Brain profile. I can tell you hundreds of stories of where those conversations have led to. I'll never shut it off. It's an energy source. It's like a life source. It's a soul source. It is serendipity. It is opportunities that I can't articulate in my mind that come through Pick My Brain. And this is why I want millions of people to have it, because I'm like, you guys, it is unlocked, love, energy, ideas, insights, global connections, travel, yes, commerce, but again, there's just so many ways to unlock opportunity with it by just being accessible and of service to the world. And Darren, what I was going to say you is I would love, that mentorship becomes a very normal career and a normal stream of, when you get to a certain level in life, you should be able to, be a mentor and get paid around, we think, $50 an hour for that time, knowledge, and experience. And that should be a regular path that people take. And it should be a regular thing that society supports. As a parent, would you, I hope it becomes culture, be like, I hope your kids have total access to these mentors for this rate. It's not like private tutoring,
Right.
like life, it's like lived experience, it's like a mentor role.
Well, you'll buy your kid guitar lessons. What's the difference?
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly. So we're just trying to make that more culturally accessible on both sides. That's why we pay our mentors $50 an hour.
And Max, sorry, I have an idea, if I can share that with you.
Yeah.
A thought. So imagine you have your own community, and you're thinking, I would love my community to be able to connect with the mentors of PickMyBrain. Would that be possible? Are you just doing this for universities, or would it be possible for the Octopus Movement to say,
Yes,
let's create a deal so we can offer this to the people in the Octopus Movement who needs a mentor and they can't afford the normal standard commercial price or whatever? Is that
I would love that.
open. It's totally open.
Can I interrupt? No. I'm in a town of a mostly Hispanic population that picks a majority of food for people around, and and my wife works at the school, and the high school kids leave and they don't know what to do. There's nothing. And I'm telling you, I would love to enter that and say, I'll give hours. I don't care if you're in any pocket. I will give my time for a 17 or 18-year-old kid to maybe allow them a chance to not make some of the mistakes I made. Because I went right in the Marine Corps because I needed to survive and have money, and I thought that was a way out. I bought the whole lie, and it wrecked a lot of parts of myself. Yeah, wow. And I was an artist and an actor and on my way to becoming a chef, and I put a bullet in all that almost. It just was, I waited now 20 years to have what I'm sitting in again. And I don't want youth to have that same type of experience. And I think Perry has had the same kind of, different but similar rough things in life that could be valuable for young people to hear. And so I hope we don't let this conversation die and we figure out how to get monetization behind that so that we can give the gift to these. And I'm not just saying for this small community I'm in, but what about my reservation? Like, it's the same thing. They won't even listen to me or go on a Zoom for the majority because they don't understand the tools. But there's some kid out there that if he understood PickMyBrain, that he might not come on a live or watch my live, but he might look at it and go, oh, that's what I want to do. Or he might see me on there and that's not what he wants to do, but then he sees Perry and he says, oh, I like that I can
nail polish,
do nail polish and be respected or whatever. I don't know.
And Darren, there is someone in PickMyBrain that is a brain. It's Katie John. Katie John is awesome. And I interviewed Katie John, and since that interview, since that connection, since that mycelium network of amazing people connecting with each other, she said in the interview, people are like medicine. So we need to let go of these unwritten rules. Just connect with someone. Just talk. If it works out, you have another talk. If it's enough, then half an hour is enough. Yeah. And in my life, just one simple remark from someone somewhere changes everything. And they don't need to be, the rock star or the billionaire or
to offer advice.
We should stop doing that a little bit.
Yes.
Right? We should listen to just
regular people.
It's we have a very strange thing here in Europe and in the Netherlands. I cannot get in the newspaper with all that I'm doing because I haven't published a book yet with what I'm doing, or I haven't created a movie yet, so nobody listens to you. So there's this unwritten rule that you have to have linear results before people take you seriously. We're missing out on a lot of good stuff there if we start listening to each other, even if you haven't written a book, or if you haven't been on TEDx, or if you haven't been on, these are amazing people with amazing brains. And if we connect them and listen to them,
Life experience.
you just need one sentence sometimes, or just a few words thinking, oh God, yeah, that's
helps
fascinating.
me feel alive, helps me feel alive. This is why we built Meet the World's People program, which is a program that asks you, like, do you want to meet new people? Do you want to have conversations with a wide variety of people? If so, sign up for Meet the World's People, and every month you can book someone, pick someone just to have a 30-minute conversation with, and commit to doing that every single month for a year and see what happens. So we almost want to make, to motivate people to do this regularly, because we need to change culture. We need to make it very normal to access people's stories and lived experiences, and know that, just like Todd said, everyone you meet knows something you don't. Right. Even knowing Darren was in the Marine Corps and that you made the wrong decision, I just want to know that story now. And in 30 minutes, I could get that one story, but you have 100 stories that you could tell me. But if I sign up for this subscription, and we're leaning into subscriptions because that is that regular behavior, then I'm like, I am going to meet one new person a month. I'm going to make sure I do that. And my only motivation behind that meeting is to be like, tell me your story. If you ask 10 people in the world, strangers, to just for 30 minutes tell you their story, you're going to walk away, feeling like all these things. And knowledge will be transferred, but so will energy, and so will ideas, and so will insight, and so will understanding of yourself and the world and different cultures. And maybe that will start to break down why we're so polarized by each other. We're so in conflict with each other. And I think it's just because I'm like, tell me your story. And then if we start that way, we can't really fight as much, because we're like human to human. So Yasmin and I launched this Meet the World's People program. We're testing it, but we're like, man, how cool would it be if 1 million people join Meet the World's People? It's a Netflix. It's the same price as Netflix, but you're committing to meeting a wide variety of people. Will people invest in that? Because then we can really facilitate it.
Max,
hold on, Perry. I did replace Netflix and cable with Zoom meetings over 2020 that year. And what I ended up doing was learning a lot more instruments and meeting people from all over the world. And it's got me in this place right here. So much so that now it's a habit. It's sort of hard for me to sit around and watch a movie, because when I get in these conversations, a lot of people now, which seems to me in the past would have been strange, I just get together and do poetry with people randomly, or we just make noise together. We're not in a band, and we're not going to make money from it. We're just connecting and enjoying each other's presence. And when I leave that and go to bed, it's different than watching Netflix. Or I'm not saying that's wrong. If you're doing that, it's part of life, is decompressing. But I think I had enough of it.
And they're very beautiful documentaries on Netflix.
There are.
Of course.
We learn from that as well.
Totally. Which gives you content when you meet someone, right? Exactly. Because you got to stay connected. Because like I said, like sometimes someone will tell me when I meet them in the World's People to watch something or read something I didn't know existed. And I'm like, perfect.
This Facebook user is funny. I've done a TEDx and it doesn't help either. That's book me on PickMyBrain. I want to talk to you. That's funny. I want to hear your
sometimes
story.
It's just one phrase. You're like, I want to talk to them. That's all I need, and I've got a conversation.
And that's my advice. If you create your PickMyBrain profile, make sure you have an angle that is you. that maybe this Facebook user can use this as an angle. I did a TEDx and it doesn't help either.
Funny.
It's so much better than
Yeah.
I'm a marketeer professional or I'm a
Yeah.
dentist. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're a dentist, but if you did a TEDx and didn't help,
Yeah.
there's a story.
Isn't that
I find that funny.
Yeah, it's that slight subtle like spin on like, right? And we're trying to draw that out in the profile all the time. How do I get Darren to tell me he made a decision in his life that cost him 20 years? Now I'm like, now I want to know, like withhold a little bit from me. Now as a mentee, I can be like, what decision cost you 20 years? Instead of booking you as like, yeah, some professional that's going to help me. You don't
Right.
necessarily want that. I just want to be like, tell me how you lost 20 years. That's like, so that's the knowledge we need to pass down. So we're always working on like making sure that comes through on the profile, like little points like that, so you can
Yeah.
go there. Yeah.
Hey Max, and is Tim Draper now going to be a brain as well on Pick My Brain?
Well, we're not sure. We haven't. Tim Draper he runs a lot of accelerators. This is just one, and he's got.
That's why I'm curious as a brain.
Yeah.
That would be fun to talk to him for half an hour.
It would be fun. Like how much fun is it just to talk to so many people for half an hour? Like, can't that be the new game that we play together?
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to do that. Be like, are you into meeting new people for 30 minutes? If so, just jump and pick my brain and we'll figure it out how to facilitate that globally. We'll just make that happen, in the same way that we do a million other things. We just want to create that global game. Yeah. Or that opportunity.
And Yasmin, I announce you as the mentorship guru. I want to know, as a mentor and people watching and listening to us, so what is the biggest advice you can give to a mentor? We love to help people, but it's sometimes difficult to give advice, especially when you hit the nerve and you want to give advice when you just hit the nerve, and it's tricky. Is there something you can share with us that that works, that can help us when we really want to help someone and it's difficult to mentor that person?
Good question.
So how I would like to frame my role in relationship with the mentors is like, I want to make sure that the mentors are humans before being mentors or professionals or whatever it is. So when I grouped the mentors, and I did that like 2 times in a networking event of mentors, I want us as a group to share the struggles, to share the times we got lost, to share the things, because I feel like sometimes, not sometimes, many times in mentorship programs, you encourage the mentors to share the wins. You encourage the mentors to be, that superhero. But what happens is like the mentee doesn't feel really connected, right?
No.
And that's why many people say like, oh, a mentor is like one step only ahead of you, not the one that are like 10 steps ahead of you. I want to cause that connection to be more mentor to mentor, because if I am a young professional that I struggle a lot, that I am confused about what I love, or what job do I fit in or not fit in, and you come to me, Perry, and say, look, I struggle, I didn't know where to go, and then I ended up finding by talking, then I feel like, oh, then there's hope for me, because someone that I admire so much struggled and made it, right? So here I am struggling and I can make it too. So I want to make sure that the mentors are humans before being mentors. I want to, empower them with confidence enough to share the struggles, to share the lows, not only the highs. Because I think that this is what will set us apart in terms of like, compared to all the other mentorship programs, that there's this high, and very distant, and you don't fully connect, because like, oh my god, like I struggle every
You
day.
don't connect at all, right?
This
There's
person doesn't
hardly
make
any
any
connection.
mistake in life, and I make 1,000 in 1 hour. So so I want us to be to have this pick my brain kind of vibe, that we're all here to share, we're all here, every one of us have something to share with each other in a lesson, and we are all same level. right? Even though there is an age gap, even though there is like a career gap, but like not because I am successful and you're not, but because I've been there, and that's why I want you to learn with my learnings and my mistakes.
Love it. So vulnerability is the
Yeah,
new cool, right?
yeah,
Also
exactly.
in being a mentor is being vulnerable and open and
Yeah,
sharing and not just saying, I make $1,500 an hour as a mentor, and you're
No.
so lucky you have me now for $50 an hour. That's not the
yeah,
way to go.
exactly.
Right.
It's true. And I really like what Darren said. It's like humans before professionals. Like
Yeah,
we have created this hierarchy of professionals and like everyone else. And then there's like a hierarchy within professionals. It's like, oh, if you make a lot of money, you're at the top of the tier in professionals because that means something. Does that mean you have more advice? Does that mean you have more lived experiences? Not always. But if we just look at it, we are just human beings across the stage from each other, living this very human experience. And you went down a different path than I went down. And now we're
Definitely.
just going to share what path you went down, and I'm going to share what path I went down so we can both live in each other's lived experiences. Because I think that's what's so exciting is like, I wish I could live 1,000 lives. I wish I could be born a million times and try different things.
Mhm.
I don't need to if I can, for 30 minutes, dive in with Perry and live in his life for 30 minutes and understand what kind of experiences he's had. And same with Darren, like what kind of experiences have you had and what did it lead to? And again, like the age thing, like mentees have so much to pass on to mentors as well, right? And I don't even want there to be a relationship like this with mentors and mentees. It's still here. We are two people going to meet and the mentee is reaching out for that story. But yeah, human to human, I really, really like that because I think, yeah, these consulting sites are book me because I'm here. And Pick My Brain's like,
Yeah.
book me because I have so many
I
lived
We
want
can
to be
experiences.
with
connect.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
want
want
to
to be with
pass it
you.
to you. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like to the mentors, it's like
Thank you,
access
Jasmine.
to
Yeah.
you and to talent, and that's it.
human to human, same level.
So we're almost done with the hour. How fast does
Wow,
that
wow.
go? So Darren, what do you think of this shenanigans, nonlinear shenanigans with guests?
I
Should we
like it. We didn't
continue?
even get in trouble today, so that's always a good day.
It was very serious today. Good
It
job,
was. It was. I'm
Maxine
gonna
and
say,
Jasmine.
if either of you would like to do another live with me on my show as I get my pick my brain going, maybe I'll hire Perry to be a part of that or something so that I can maybe go all in on it, and then we can report back to not just the Octopus Movement, but I can be proof that you guys can, hey, this is the day we talked about it, and then 2 months later, this is what's happened, and then we can start having follow-up shows that connect Pick My Brain and Founders King and Octopus Movement, because really what we're all looking for is to lose the labels, lose division, come together, grow together, lift each other up. And if we do that, none of us are going to be worn out, and we people with disabilities can have all they want. And like there's just a more enticing community that I want to be a part of, that I think we're creating a web or a net to hopefully hold up the weaker people on the bottom and bring them up with us along the way. And so
Well
I'm
said,
highly
Darren.
encouraged today, guys.
Yay.
This was
Very
so
good.
cool.
That.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Jasmine and Maxime. Pick My Brain. Thank you, Pick My Brain. Octopus Movement loves Pick My Brain, and it's
Yes.
We love
it's
you
such
too.
it's so good to be
Yeah,
in a
we
friendship with you, Maxime, and to
it's the
brainstorm
best.
together and
Agreed.
think
It's fun.
about so
Definitely.
many things. It's
Me too.
really really cool, and thank you so much for being here on the first show and to kick this off. And thank you
Oh,
for everyone who are listening to
so
us and
excited.
sending messages. And Todd Churches is here on LinkedIn. Todd is a brain as well. He's also in my board of inspiration. Todd is a professor. Todd is amazing, and he's
A
nonlinear
mentor.
thinker.
He's
a
many
mentor.
things, right? Like how many
He's
All
a
right.
writer. He's an octopus. He's
An
funny.
author.
He's Superman. He's in my Project 398. Oh, yes. Can I make a little commercial for the people that are watching? I'm
You
making
can do
a
whatever
book.
you want. Time's irrelevant.
It's my show, right? So I'm creating a book. It's a book like this. It's an art book where I put 398 nonlinear thinkers in it. So if you want to be in my art book, go to
Book
PickMyBrain.world.
Perry on PickMyBrain.
Hey, Perry, let's make a video that we can play at the end of every show to show off who you've already done, because some of those photos and everything are really cool, and we can kind
That's
of
a
display
secret.
the idea.
I only shared like 6 people that are
Oh,
in the
okay.
book, and all the others. That's a secret, because I have award-winning filmmakers, writers, artists in there, and it's the youngest is 11, the oldest is 82, and the oldest I can share Yoka with all of you. So the oldest is 82. She's Yoka Brouwer. She's Dutch and American both. She's everything, and she's on Pick My Brain as well. You can book Yoka, and she's a Holocaust survivor. She is crazy, funny, interesting, to the point, a wonderful mentor, coach, and she is a human book in the human library. So we connected a lot of dots today. Pick My Brain, people, other platforms. It's all open. We do everything. And someone asked me recently, what are the rules to be at the Octopus Movement? And the good thing is there are no rules. If it feels good, you're more than welcome in the Octopus Movement, and everybody is welcome, and we just connect and brainstorm together and do good things. So
And how do they do that, Perry? How do people we know PickMyBrain.world is how they connect with you two, and the broader world of professionals, but how do we become an Octopus Movement member, Perry?
Go to the octopusmovement.org and register as an octopus, and it's for free, and we welcome you in the world of octopus teachers, octopus specialists. I think in the near future the nonlinear specialists are going to be more successful than the single linear specialists. And you can be a member of our global think tank, where we're producing 22 white papers this year to change global issues. Go to theoctopusmovement.org. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
Thank
do
you.
that. Thanks, everybody. And I'm going to play our little promo video on the way out, because I just love watching it, and I like hearing my own music out loud.
Thank you.
Thanks for a
Maxine.
wonderful show, everyone.
Jasmine.